Hey guys, what's good? I am Eric from Esme&Eric's YouTube channel, you guys. Today is the podcast, Two Cents or Nonsense, you guys, from Moses Lake's point of view. My sign's not working right now because the sockets suck here. Anyways, you guys, today's video, I'm going to introduce the Crees. There's a lot of talk about the Crees on the reserve. I want to tell my side of the story. I'll tell you guys how they got here or how I think they got here and what the shady shit they used to do and the reason why they got themselves banned from here. So let's get it going, you guys. By the way, shout out to Bug, shout out to Watson if you guys see this. Shout out to Cub. Cub, I heard you doing things in music big time. I'm proud of you, my boy. Shout out to OJ who's doing life sentence, you guys. OJ's doing a bid for first degree murder. I'm gonna tell you guys a story about that. My little cousin we was sitting in remand told me he was in for a murder. I didn't believe him. We all got released and he got held back on these murder charges and I couldn't believe it. Well, I didn't get released. The boys got released and I was in there. I knew I was gonna stay because I was in on running. OJ ended up staying. We tore some shit up. He's really bad at the fades. First time seeing fades, skin fades. My first time. You guys, the best fades. You guys want to get your kids a good fade. The best fades come from the joint, you guys. So keep that in mind. So yeah, you guys. I got no ill will against these guys. Well, at least not as much as the reserve does. There's a lot of excuses they use to push everybody out. You know, kinda. I love our people. I love the reserve. I wouldn't change it, you guys, but I wouldn't change my life. Is what I'm saying. But kinda is really, we're really bad at pushing people out that we don't like. And if we don't feel they fit, we kind of just that's one thing that the reserve is bad for. I think everybody should flourish. Everybody should be happy. Everybody should strive. But anyways, you guys, shit, my story starts in 2011. You guys, shit was getting rocky. Leland just passed. I was doing weekends with Jacob, the Hooterite that got busted, the Mennonite that got busted with like me in the mix. I'm gonna have an episode of Jacob Dick, you guys. That's his name. He's my friend, you guys. Anybody that knows me and has been in the joint with me knows that Jacob's my boy. Anyways, we'll get onto that. We'll talk about that in another episode, you guys. Today, I just want to talk about the Crees, the ones from Hobima. They came from, I don't know how to pronounce it, you guys, Muscatese or something like that. I don't know. However you fucking say Hobima nowadays. Anyways, you guys, that's where the boys came from. Anyways, my cousin Eddie rolls with the Calgary boys, and my sister needed to score. This is in 2011, you guys, and she went up with she went up and she met up with my cousin Eddie, and then my cousin Eddie hooked her up with his boys. So the story goes. There's many stories, but this is just the factual part. The actual factual, you guys. Eddie ended up calling Watson. Watson ended up meeting with Candace. Sold Candace a couple of zips, and that's where the story began. And the rest we could say is history, but I know you guys are eerie for those stories. So yeah, ended up doing big things after she branched off with Carla because Carla started falling off that year. Like she fell off and she started hitting it. Started hitting the pipe. So my sister started doing things, and these guys really liked the kind of business she was bringing, so they came down willingly. No one told them to come down, and if anything, I remember we was all broke one time. We all spent our money, and we had nobody to go up, and they were phoning us and telling us, "Hey, you guys gonna come score? We got some good shit today." And of course, none of us had money, so that's how they end up coming down. That's the story I remember of them coming down. There's a lot of stories of some people saying, "Oh, they were my brothers. They were my real suck ass we got on the reserve." That typical shit. So yeah, you guys, the first ones to come down, Buck. Those were the first ones to come down. They came down. They started chopping. They started. Like the Vice documentary said, they were using people that were vulnerable, like mothers, single mothers. That's the main target. It's really sad because everybody knows that single mothers are willing to, more chances of saying yes than somebody that has a family. So that's what they started using, and they started using that momentum, and then they started selling, causing all that bullshit. They brought the beans, they brought all that shit. They say that me and my dad brought these guys down the from where they were. No, they already came down, and then they were already down here, and then I was just slinging green at the time. I was just slinging Mary Jane. I ended up getting caught up in it, and I ended up selling the white stuff, and then, geez, guys, I was full fledged selling hard after that, and then branched off to the beans, and eventually my incarceration and my life, you know. Well, my life was already going down like this, you guys. It was already down here, so I'm not gonna say my life was up here, and then when my addiction came, we started um we started running with it. Then they started being shady after that. They started getting greedy, or greed starts coming and all that stuff. They started fucking each other. They started fucking each other over, and then they end up. Next thing you know, there's a whole shitload of them in standoff, different groups, because they were fighting by then. Like Lane brought this other crew, and then I don't know. It's just like other groups in Hobima that were fighting over Hobima. We're now fighting over the reserve. That's how it goes. And then they'll bring 4 or 5 of their enforcers, and the people will know that they have guns. And like me, I knew they had guns, and just being hard headed back then, act like you don't give a fuck, and end up getting yourself into a jam, hey? That's where people get killed and shit. So these guys end up coming down, and then they'll French you a zip, and then one of them will come down and collect 500. Then the boss will come down and say, "Oh well, you weren't supposed to give it to anybody. You're supposed to give it to him in full. So now you still owe him 15. That five's just for interest." And I'll be like, "Well, what the fuck, man? Like, fuck, that's fucked up." And then they did that to everybody, and what they did basically do is just muscle everybody, and not that they were solid or tough, because everybody could fucking throw down. Uh, they had guns, you guys. You can't bring a knife to a gunfight, let alone your fists to a gunfight. So they really expressed that in their ways, and they were different from our ways, and that's how they started flooding the reserve with money, and with the drug dealers with more money because they were already just wheeling and dealing, going to Lethbridge to get it. Now they didn't have to go to Lethbridge because they can just score it now from the neighbors. So that's how they ran. They had a good system, you guys. I'm not gonna say nothing. That's why I said I give a shout out to Buck, and Watson if they see this video. I got no ill will against them, even though they poked that shit on me. I cuffed 1,400 bucks worth of rock and $600 worth of beans. That was a $2,000 debt that I know I could cover. I ended up getting collected by the white boy for half of it, and then he didn't tell the black boy about it. And then the black guy came over and told me, "Hey, well, where's the two?" And I said, "Well, the white boy picked up the half already." So I give him the other half and thinking I'm clear. And then I score off them with my $1,000. And then all of a sudden, when I'm done selling, they're saying, "Oh, where's the 15?" I thought and I'll be like, "Fuck no, man! I just paid you guys off." And they're like, "No, no, no, man!" And then fuck, it just went like that till fuck. Finally, I just had enough. I started doing my own thing. That's when I started bossing up. I started doing my own thing and doing following their kind of plan. Hey, but I kind of did it myself, and I wasn't so fucking violent. So I had hence the more customers than the boys that were actually doing it. So that's how I was able to push them off the reserve. So there is, you guys, the cops, they can't control the drugs. They'll never rid of these things. They'll never rid of them. What they can do is, well, it's a stupid idea, but when you control them, you don't see as many people dying. Like when I was doing the beans, I'd be like, "Oh fuck, I'm almost out to eat on this one, man. We ain't selling this shit." And not that I'm saying they need it right now, but they think they can tackle this by busting them and saying, "Oh, we got a trespassing law," which makes us look really bad, you guys, especially to the white people that are on the reserve, that work on the reserve, that even do shit on the reserve. Um, yeah, so it's pretty hypocritical to us have that trespassing bill '05 something. I can't remember what the fuck the title of that bill was. But anyways, it was a trespassing law saying that anybody from the outside can't come back in, and if you're banned, then you'll be, you're gonna be subject to jail time. So yeah, you guys, there's a lot of that happened because of the Crees. So there's a lot of stories that people say and really grease these boys up. But no, the only thing greased up about these boys is their face. That's it. All every single one of them. Fuck yes. There's nothing good about these guys. There was nothing I could say that can really, like doesn't mean I'm gonna kiss their asses or that, you guys. Vice did a documentary on them, you guys. Vice did a documentary on this when the Crees came down. They really made it sound like they really greased up the Crees in the story. Yeah. Wasn't even like that. They didn't even have a fucking clue, you guys. These guys didn't even have a fucking idea what was going on. The police didn't even know what was going on, and right now, today, the police still don't know what the fuck is going on. Um, yeah, they did a documentary and it documented all the guys that were getting busted on the reserve, the dealers that were getting busted on the reserve. Um, yeah, it was just stupid, you guys. Stupid. There was no there was no way they were gonna beat this drug that was going around, which was Oxy 80s at the time. So the Oxy 80s are what really got everything out of hand, you guys. That's when the people started dying. That's when the problems started happening. Um, yeah, I can't seem to find it, you guys. I was gonna try to find this video for you guys, but I can't seem to find it. Maybe I'll find it and I'll put it on as the picture in my intro for this video. So if you guys enjoyed this video, check out my next one. My next one's gonna be on bundle holders, you guys. Bundle holders being like fucking 19 years old or 20 years old, and these elders now that are painting our faces are kids that we used to like fucking go to school with that were right younger than us. So yeah, we got Crees, we got the elders that are really fucking up the reserve right now. And you guys, hope you guys enjoyed this one on the Crees. This is how the Crees came down. This is how they evolved. This is how they ran their system, their drugs. This is how they make their money, you guys. So till next time, you guys. Peace out.